Being born in the midst of the modern Sonic era, I was totally dependent on this movie succeeding. Miraculously, against all odds, it garnered the approval of critics and audiences alike. Paramount had released their Sonic the Hedgehog movie, in total making $320 million in the box office globally. Then Sonic 2's budget was that of $90 million to $110 million, although ultimately winning back $405.4 million. They sorta blew their load on the third movie in regards to its budget. Out of a $120 million movie, it had earned $492 million. Still profitable, still a success. Majority of the money mainly came from the merch sales, the toys, and the video games. Don't forget that Sonic X Shadow Generations was a thing during this time. Now, these aren't crazy numbers or anything. At the same time, it still ballparks Sonic's franchise at $1 billion. Now, even though it took Sonic about 3 movies in order to get there, truly the competitor for highest grossing video game movie is the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I didn't talk much about its development history, but the budget for this thing was $100 million, shared between Nintendo and Universal alike, crushing it at the box office, obtaining $1.36 billion worldwide. And yes, they're coming back with a sequel. A win for one video game character is a win for all video game characters, Mario and Sonic if you want to be traditional. We all know the story about Ugly Sonic and how he was the worst thing that ever touched this planet, warranting Sega to actually hire Tyson Hesse to go ahead and fix the design. The director, Jeff Fowler, explained that he wanted Sonic to be more human-like so that it didn't look awkward if he was turning a doorknob or putting on regular shoes. So yeah, we let him know and he took that to heart. He explained that everything was all on him. He took full accountability for everything that had happened and ultimately decided to take the destructive criticism from the fans as constructive criticism. This is kind of a phenomenon all in itself. The movie was fixed just by the way that Sonic looked. Now, besides my older video, me talking about how people love their characters looking more baby-like and younger, there is just something so primal that causes human beings to want to nurture and take care of something that is very cute. You hear that? You can't be ugly and proud. It doesn't exist.
Is that what he calls it?
So what do you want to do now?
I don't know. How about a movie?
The actor Ben Schwartz, as well as the diametrically opposed Jim Carrey, James Marsden, or as I like to call him Cyclops, Adam Pally, Tika Sumpter, Natasha Rothwell, Lee Madub, and including the later voices that would come in the future of this franchise, make this world very colorful and add their own pizzazz onto the script. Because it's just like Sonic says, it's all about family, Tom. Speaking of family, Sonic has never really been known to have one, at least in a traditional canon. Now, you can go to say that Sonic's friends and allies are essentially his replacement family, which you would be right. Even in this movie, we don't exactly know his blood relatives, but rather, he has an owl named Longclaw that looks after him. Or at least she did look after him until trouble ended up finding them, leaving Sonic mostly alone for his entire life, up until the moment where he ends up meeting Tom, in the most unconventional circumstances. All of this precisely because he possessed a certain type of power that makes him extremely fast. Am I jumping ahead? Is this too quick? Well, yeah, that's kind of his thing. I'll tell you what. Let's do a quick plot synopsis to actually uncover the real secrets of the story and where exactly it goes.
You can go again. Don't fall high. Take no filet. Destination heaven. That's you and me. We're going to have fun. Say it. That's all.
As our story begins, we see Sonic as a young hedgehog running through Green Hill Zone. But alas, he is now under the watchful eye of the Echidna tribe. Basically something about the Echidnas going to war with owls, but obviously with Sonic's guardian Longclaw looking after him, she presents Sonic with a bunch of portal jumping rings. She sacrifices herself in order to save Sonic, transporting him to the human world. 15 years later, we come across Tom, a police officer who takes care of a town known as Green Hills. So one mighty Eggman punch later, we find Sonic hitching a ride with Tom at the point where I have to ask, hey man, what kind of roles you always playing? Throughout the course of the story, bonding together, Dr. Robotnik was not only always on their trail, but has come to find a lot of use out of Sonic's quills. No matter where Sonic ends up going, Robotnik would always be there, provoking Tom and Maddie to stand in the way of Dr. Robotnik, provoking him to ask the question why they would even care about a little blue alien like him, which leads Tom to say that Sonic is more human than any other person around. In fact, he is his friend, waking up Sonic and alighting a confidence within him that gives him way more power than previously thought. This not only allows Sonic to garner the power that Robotnik has stolen from him, but he now comes to make a vow that he will never use his power to run away ever again. He will use it to protect his friends. After one glorious beatdown, Sonic has successfully saved Green Hill Zone and come to make Tom reconsider on his goal of moving to the big city and rather staying in Green Hill Zone. Or I'm sorry, Green Hill Town. Believe it or not, I feel Tom's struggle in regards to not exactly viewing yourself as an aficionado and wanting to prove yourself by putting yourself in different situations. Situations that might overall be dangerous or just nonsensical, but rather would feel like you've promoted yourself to being taken seriously. Yeah, just like the old saying, there is no place like home. He didn't realize it then, but exactly what he is right now is precisely who he should strive to be. Essentially, getting comfortable in your own skin regardless to how itchy it may feel. And let's be honest, Tom doesn't exactly live the worst life ever. He has a wife that loves him, a house, a dog, and now for Pete's sake, his son is literally Sonic the freaking Hedgehog. Like, God, Tom, if you don't think that you're doing right, then I must be in fucking jail. Those charges are fake. You can't prove anything. Now, at this point, this film is 6 years old, and overall, I think it's a pretty average experience for a Sonic flick. If I take off my rose-tinted nostalgia glasses off for like a second, I could have sworn that like 50% of this movie is in the car. And definitely, it's a rough beginning. Not only are Sonic's animations sort of stiff because of the design change, for me personally, even though I enjoy the way that Sonic is within these movies, I don't really like him here. He's way too kid-like. Shut up! As I was growing up, Sonic was always like an older brother to me, regardless to his height. So obviously, when I come into this film where Sonic is way more immature than I ever was, this causes me to have a different relationship with the character entirely. Now obviously, throughout the course of the other films, he would grow to be more mature and learn his lessons, but obviously, this film is trying to appease the general audience. Which, hey, I have to say, makes sense. Even though Sonic is traditionally supposed to be 15, within the video games he never acts his age. And even though this is quite unfair of me to say, but Sonic basically representing anything childlike gives me the biggest ick factor that I've ever felt. This is also even in display when he had his emotional outbursts. Now hey, I'm not saying that Sonic should never have the ability to be weak or to cry. He should, just not my Sonic, you know what I mean? That's probably too cruel to say at this point, right? I mean, obviously, I would definitely take the Sonic that we got even in response to what I've said so far. Speaking of which, Sonic has only ever run around Green Hills. He's never thought about actually running across the world or anything like that. He stays exactly where he needs to be, evident in his incompetence on knowing where certain places are.
You think you have problems? I lost my rings.
Rings? What are you talking about?
Okay. Rings are how all advanced cultures travel between worlds. And now mine are on top of a pointy building I've only ever seen on your skin-tight t-shirt.
I'm pretty sure that the Sonic from the video games and even my ideal Sonic would want to travel the world regardless to whatever is happening. Evidence enough to show that this is a completely different Sonic than what Sonic fans, including even me, are really used to. Don't get me wrong, he's a pretty cool Sonic, but you can definitely tell because of the child influence, I should say, that of course he's supposed to be well-mannered and behave, and ultimately gives me the vibes of don't go out before dark, save the world before bedtime. If the mayor's having a heart attack or a robbery around 12 a.m., that's his problem. But you know what's funny? I always imagine myself being Sonic a lot of the times, or even then, he's like an older brother that I could never live up to. Basically, this Sonic allows me to look into the mirror and really self-analyze myself in regards to how I could be confident from any kind of setback or troubles, even any depressive thoughts that I may have from time to time. What's notable is that they found an interesting way in how to tie in the idea of Sonic having rings in this world. Not only are they his ability to teleport, but coincidentally enough, any time that he's caught without these rings, he'll instantly black out from any kind of attack. It's simply usually when he has enough rings that he's capable of getting right back up. Bear tranquilizers? Bombs? What of it? Falling from heights above any normal human's ability to survive? Yeah, I'm just gonna start blinking a few times and get back to moving. One of the things I like the most about this film is that Sonic is not naturally a fighter, and it is evident to say that this is possibly the weakest version of Sonic that has ever existed. I mean, for Pete's sake, he does actually get emotional and depressed, which personally for me actually took me out of the film for a second, but I grew to grow accustomed to his emotional side. Truly within the original canon series, Sonic is always at a stoic level. He never gets quite emotional in the video games, and for the most part, Sonic has always always been characterized as free as the wind. This doesn't just mean it in his power set, it means it also in his personality. So when this Sonic starts spewing out a bunch of electricity, it makes sense in the context of his emotional state and personality. There are a lot of times where he's super energetic like a kid should, but there are also times where he has a incredibly bad attitude.
Where you going?
Just drive the car. I'll take care of this. And if I don't make it, just ditch me. You seem good at that.
And let's not forget, he is prone to emotional outbursts. But it's not just the combination of these two personality and powers that makes him so awesome, but it's how they develop over the course of the film and cause Sonic to accidentally run into his capabilities and his powers, and understanding how he can utilize and train himself to become way more sufficient than he ever has been. At this point, within the Sonic fandom, we all considered that Sonic was basically the world's fastest hobo. And that kind of reality is introduced within this film because he lives in a cave. It's where he keeps all of his personal knickknacks, and also is the place where he avoids paying taxes because that place ain't a normal living standard and he doesn't have a job, so he's obviously stealing everything he can. Tom is an interesting character because he acts as not only a surrogate for the audience, but rather a father figure for Sonic. Whether Sonic would like to admit it or not, Tom definitely steps within that role and accurately tries to guide Sonic in his mannerisms and his temperament. The two of them, for some odd reason, have perfect chemistry. This isn't to say that they're compatible with each other, but rather they bounce off of each other very, very well. But up to the point when actual constructive roles are introduced.
What is it, a teleportation box?
It's a payphone. It's mostly for drug dealers and fugitives from the law, which is us. Stay in the car, I don't want anybody seeing you.
Fine.
This will be more plainly set out in the sequel. But as for now, Sonic, Maddie, and let's not forget Tom's best friend that he won't shut up about, will from this point on live the rest of their days as comfortable as a family ever could. As for Dr. Robotnik, I don't know, I just kinda let this guy speak for himself half the time. His facial expressions, everything about him, Jim Carrey is just amazing, like holy crap. I'm gonna be pretty honest, anytime Jim Carrey is essentially doing his Jim Carrey roles, it feels a little too much, it seems excessive, but when he does it in the Sonic movie, it is the right amount of comedy. He obviously didn't get enough love when he was a lot younger, but in fact, that works in his favor because he is absolutely hilarious in this movie, making the best one-liners and clips that honestly anybody could ever come up with. But when it's Jim Carrey adding his pizzazz onto these lines, it makes up for all the
If you don't
difference.
mind, I'd like to take a few readings inside your house.
No kidding, you're from the power company? Oh, you must know my buddy Spencer. We play softball together.
Spence. He's a good man.
Yes, he is a maniacal maniac who utilizes his skills and expertise in a way where he can bully anybody that he sees fit, including warriors of the government. Like he says, he has surpassed everything you're going to do. But when it comes to post-credits, we come to find out that Dr. Robotnik is in that exact mushroom place that Sonic was supposed to go to. And beyond even that, we also have the arrival of Tails the Fox.